Meanwhile, Great Britain is offering to give Iran its oil tanker back. That ship seized off the coast of Gibraltar last week, but only if Iran can provide guarantees that it would not breach European sanctions on oil shipments to Syria. Iran is demanding the tanker's immediate release. So what does all this mean? Nile Gardiner joins us, director of the Thatcher Center for Freedom at the Heritage Foundation. So Nile, does this growing tit-for-tat reflect that Tehran is actually getting nervous?
Well, that's a very good point, Eric. And I think with the Iranian regime, you have an extremely aggressive, reckless regime that is feeling the full force of U.S. sanctions against it, which are having a devastating impact on the Iranian economy. And you now have the Iranians lashing out, trying to threaten oil tankers. Just actually last week, Iranian vessels menaced a British oil tanker. A British frigate protecting that oil tanker had to ward off the Iranians and warn them of the consequences of their actions. And so we're going to see, I think, an increasing amount of this kind of saber rattling from Tehran in the coming months. It's very important, I think, that Great Britain and all of America's allies in Europe stand up to the monstrously barbaric regime in Tehran. There's been far too much appeasement of Iran coming from the European Union, especially from the French and the Germans. It's time for Europe to wake up with regard to the reality of what we are dealing with in terms of the Iranian regime, which is the world's biggest state sponsor of international terrorism. This Iranian oil tanker that was seized off the coast of Gibraltar by British authorities, this tanker should not be returned to Syria. This tanker was in clear violation of European sanctions that have been put in place with regard to shipments to Syria. And Britain should not cave into pressure coming from Brussels and Paris and Berlin to hand back this tanker. Britain should stand firm. And also, hopefully, we will see Great Britain, with a new Prime Minister coming in on July 24th, changing its position on Iran and eventually shifting altogether away from the Iran nuclear deal, the JCPOA, which is a disastrous agreement.
You know, Niall, what you're